All right, in this lesson, we're going to talk about developing paragraphs, and we're going to learn how we can develop paragraphs logically, and how we should be writing, what are the things that we should be writing, how we should be starting our paragraph, how we should be ending, what should we be writing in the middle. All right, all of the things we will discuss about writing a great paragraph. So let's start our lesson. Talking about developing paragraphs, the activities that we're going to look at are matching, sentence writing, complex sentences. Very important that you write complex sentences, because you won't be able to score a higher band if you don't write complex sentences. And then we will learn how to reorder sentences from a paragraph and understand, what is the sequence of paragraph that we what are the sequence of sentences within a paragraph. All right, so let's get into this. All right, so paragraphs, developing paragraphs, the first activity. In this one, what I want you to do is basically, I'm going to read it out to you. One of the features of strong academic writing is that it has a logical flow to it. Sentences should not be isolated. So one of the features of strong academic writing is that it has logical flow to it. So when you're writing, it should have logical flow. All of the sentences should be connected to each other. Sentences should not be isolated, but each sentence should flow on logically from the one before it, right? They should all build into coherent and cohesive paragraph, okay? So the paragraph, sentence 1, sentence 2, sentence 3, sentence 4, all should be linked cohesively and coherently. Sentences can flow sentences can follow each other in the following ways, among others. Okay, so you can have argument plus counter argument. You can have opinion plus supporting examples. You can have opinion plus supporting reason. You can have listing reasons or examples. Okay, so we're gonna see all of these by doing a practice first. We're going to do an exercise to be able to understand what kind of sentences are these. So what I want you to do in this one is match sentences 1 to 4 with its follow-on sentence. So when you will write this sentence, which sentence do you think should come after this sentence? Okay, follow-on sentence. So you have to match sentence 1 to 4 to Roman numeral 1 to 4 as well. Okay, so you've got 4 sentences here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Roman numerals, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Try to match them. Which one will be the following? The following one is the Roman numerals, right? So which one comes after? Pause the video here, do this exercise on your own, and when you come back, we are going to review the answers. All right, let's review the answers. So basically 1 is 4, right? So let's read out these sentences and see if it makes sense and it has a coherence and cohesion. Firstly, television news reports are often too short or superficial to explain the full context of a story. Secondly, you can already see these words, are in logical sequence. Firstly, secondly, thirdly, finally. These are some of the words we use to flow through ideas coherently and cohesively, right? So this one is that, but these are listing, right? So firstly, secondly, thirdly. What type of sentence is this? Listing sentence. You're giving reasons or examples. These are used for giving reasons and examples. Let's look at sentence number 2. In my view, products such as cosmetics or soaps should not be tested on animals. So the flow-on sentence here is such items are not essential, and you're using such. You're using a referent such to talk about something, right? So such items are not essential, and there is no need to make creatures suffer for the sake of making money. What type of sentence is this? The sentence is opinion plus supporting reason. Okay, so you gave an opinion in sentence number 2, and then in sentence number 2, Roman numeral, you're giving a supporting reason. Why do you think that? Okay, let's look at 3. I'm convinced that government's economic policies do harm to the environment. And the follow-on question is, number one, for instance, government do very little to encourage people to use public transport instead of their cars and are reluctant to pursue private companies that pollute the environment. This is opinion plus supporting example. You're giving an example. For instance, you use for instance to give an example, right? And lastly, sentence number 4, some people believe that the only way to prevent crime is to enforce stricter punishments. And then this one is followed by the sentence, however, statistics show that more severe punishments do nothing to reduce crime rates. Okay, this is the argument. You start with the argument and then you have a counter argument and you're using however to contrast those two arguments. Okay, sounds good. So that's how you will have to write your sentences to make them cohesive and coherent. Okay, that's how you do it. These are 4 examples. Just always remember that before writing your essays. Try to check for it if you are flowing through the ideas in this way. All right, let's do another activity. Write a suitable follow-on sentence for the following. Now you have to be creative. You have to come up with your own sentence. And I will give you some examples afterwards, but you have to come up with your own follow-on sentence. And you have to read the first sentence, and then you have to write a follow-on sentence. It could be the same structure as this one. You can go one screen back and see if it's an argument, you can write a counter argument. If it's an opinion, you can write an example or a reason. And you can, if it's listing firstly, secondly, thirdly, you can flow that through as well. All right, so do this on your own. Pause the video here, read all these sentences, write a follow-on sentence. And when you come back, I'll share with you some example. All right, let's look at some examples here. So I'll read the first sentence and the follow-on sentence, and these are just examples. Your examples will differ from it, but you're just looking for coherence and cohesion in these sentences. Most road accidents are a result of careless and irresponsible driving rather than poor road design. Scrolling on mobile phones, road rage, and speeding are some of the most common ways that drivers can lose control of their vehicles. Okay, so this one is what? This one is your opinion and you give an example, right? So most road accidents are as a result of careless and irresponsible driving rather than poor road design. Give an opinion and then you give examples. Scrolling on mobile phones, road rage, and speeding are some of the most common ways that drivers can lose control of their vehicles. Let's look at the second one. It can be argued that recent technological developments in communications have helped create greater understanding between nations. While this is true to some extent, it has also led to a wider spread of misinformation. So you're coming up with the argument and then you're producing a counter argument. Third one, in my opinion, there should be a total ban on advertising of all alcoholic and tobacco products. These types of products which cause disease and social problems should not be made to seem attractive. So you give an opinion and you give a reason. Okay. Let's talk about 4. Some people argue that drug companies should make new life-saving drugs available to poorer countries at a cost price rather than making a profit on them. Pharmaceutical giants have an ethical responsibility to use their wealth to ensure an equal distribution of their essential vaccines and other medication. So you give an opinion and then you are providing the reason of your opinion. Okay, good. All right, let's look at the last one. It's undoubtedly true that working from home has many advantages. However, the loss of the work environment can have a negative impact on an individual working in isolation. You're using however, you are providing an argument, starting with an argument, and then providing a counter argument in the end by contrasting using however. All right, cool, sounds good. Let's keep moving. All right, let's look at complex sentences. And this activity, we're going to look at complex sentences. To achieve higher band for writing, you should try to include examples of more complex sentences. You will have to write complex sentences. If you don't write complex sentences, you write just simple sentences, you will not be able to achieve higher band in IELTS. Okay, you can do this by linking your ideas within one sentence using linking words. And I've provided you plenty of linking words in speaking section as well as in writing section part 1. I'll provide you more of these and we'll do more practice here. All right. So for example, you could use apart from, despite, not only, contrary to, right? So let's look at these two examples. There are two sentences. These are simple sentences. The first one is really a simple sentence. Space exploration has huge scientific value, right? That's a simple sentence. But if you wanted to write a complex sentence, you wanted to take two clauses and connect them together, stitch them together, how are we going to write it? So I'm going to give you two sentences in this activity, and you will have to stitch them together, combine them together by using linking words. How does that sound? It sounds good? All right, let's keep moving. So let's look at this, this sentence first of all as an example. Space exploration has huge scientific value. The money spent on space exploration could be better spent on dealing with the current climate crisis. Even though, you start the sentence with even though you can use in the middle as well, but I'm using it in the start. The linking word can be used in the middle or in the start. Even though some exploration has huge scientific value, comma, don't forget your comma, punctuation is huge, very important. So use that comma, and then you're talking about the money is spent on it. On it, you're replacing, you're using a pronoun here now for exploration. Could be better spent on dealing with the current climate crisis, right? So that's how you're going to do it. Now, in this activity, try to join the following pairs of sentences using the linking words in the brackets. Pause the video here, do this activity on your own, and when you come back, we will review the answers. All right, let's look at the answers. So the answer number 1, apart from wasting huge amounts of water, industries are also responsible for contamination of water supplies. I hope you got that right. Let's look at number 2. Contrary to the popular belief that machines have replaced workers everywhere, there is a huge and increasing demand for skilled artisans all over the world. Millions of people in developing countries still live in absolute poverty, despite billions of dollars being spent. Despite billions of dollars, you can also change the direction of it. You can start with the connecting word. You can start with despite, or you can put it in the middle. Another variation of this is despite billions of dollars having been sent to developing countries, millions of people still live in absolute poverty. Number 4, while people claim to have concern for the environment, they compromise their ecological values almost daily. Or you could say, people claim to have concern for the environment while compromising their ecological values almost daily, right? And in the middle, you can see that when you're using while, you're using the ing form of the verb, compromising. So you have to be careful there. When you use it in the middle, you have to change the structure sometimes, depending on the linking word. Number 5, not only is there an epidemic of obesity amongst Western adults, but it also is becoming widespread in Western children. All right, let's look at the paragraph organization activity. Now we're going to learn how do we organize the paragraph. What is the topic sentence? What is developing sentences? And how do we round it off? So now we are targeting the whole paragraph. How do we write a good, flowing, coherent, and cohesive paragraph? A good paragraph, understand this. A good paragraph consists of a topic sentence. It starts with the topic sentence. If I read the first sentence of any paragraph, I should understand what the paragraph is about, okay? That's a good call. That's a quality of a good paragraph. Topic sentence, TS. Then you could have developing sentences 1, 2, 3, okay, etc. And then you have a rounding off sentence, restating sentence. You restate the same thing and you round it off. Okay, so that's how you write a very good paragraph, and that's how you'll have to write in IELTS to gain a good score. Example question. In many countries today, there are many highly qualified graduates without employment. What factors may have caused the situation, and what, in your opinion, should be done about it? Okay, give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge and experience. Write at least 250 words. This is the prompt for, let's say, as an essay. You got the essay. I will give you the introduction and I will give you a body paragraph, all right? And I'll give you a conclusion. We are at the moment focusing on the body paragraph here, all right? So I'll give you the introduction, quickly read it. Across the world, there are many countries where people with advanced degrees are struggling to find employment. In my opinion, this is because full-time employment is no longer the cornerstone of modern economies. Universities need to restructure study options in order to keep abreast of this development. Now let's just talk about this body paragraph 1, okay? So you got a body paragraph 1. You have to start with what? Topic sentence. Look at the topic sentence. The topic sentence is in red, okay? People often declare that there is no work around anymore, but in fact, there is plenty of work. That is your topic sentence. So understand, by reading this first sentence, I know this paragraph is going to be talking about there is plenty of work and people are just have a different opinion about it, okay? Then it talks about, it uses a developing sentence. The first developing sentence is in blue. Casual, on-call, contract, part-time, and temporary positions have proliferated in recent years, okay? That is my first developing sentence. I've given an example of part-time, contract work, temporary positions have proliferated in recent years. That's one. Developing sentence 2 in purple, have a look at that. What is much rarer now is permanent employment. So yeah, there is a lot of work, but this is temporary. Permanent jobs are the ones that have gone missing in recent times, okay? Meaning positions with a long-term contract, benefits, stability, internal promotion, and skill development organized by employer is somehow rare at this point in time. Then you will, black is the restating rounding of sentence, so read that. So there is work around, but the nature of the work has changed. If you read the first sentence, or you read the last sentence, isn't it the same thing, just rephrased? That's exactly what you want to do. You want to round it off in the last sentence. You'd say, so there is work, and in the first sentence is also, that's what I'm saying, that people are saying that there's not enough work, but there is plenty of work. So in the end, I'm saying the same thing. So there is work around, but the nature of the work, and whatever I've said in the middle, I'm kind of rounding it off as well, but the nature of the work has changed, right? So that's how neatly you have to write things, and that's logical, it's coherent, it's cohesive, and that's how you write a very beautiful paragraph. All right, let's look at body paragraph 2. I want you to do this exercise on your own. In this exercise, what you're going to do is you're going to reorder the following sentences to form a cohesive and logical paragraph. So you've been given 7 sentences, 7 sentences, yeah? You've given 7 sentences, and you have to reorder them. You have to come up with topic sentence first, and developing sentence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have to come up with a conclusion sentence. Try to do this activity on your own. Let's read the conclusion quickly and then you will pause the video and you will do this activity. And when you come back, we will review body paragraph 2. But I'm going to read the conclusion quickly before we do that. The post-full-time permanent employment economy is only a problem for people who are not prepared for it. Unfortunately, many of these people are highly qualified graduates who are the product of an antiquated education system. Revamping university study should resolve this issue. Okay, so I've given you the whole response of the essay, but you're going to work on body paragraph 2, and then we will neatly put it together and you will have a response to the whole IELTS part 2 essay response. But let's just understand how do we write the body paragraphs. Okay, pause this video here, work on body paragraph 2, reorder them and make it cohesive and logical. And when you come back, we'll review the answers. All right, let's review the answers. So the first answer is number 3. That's the topic sentence. The problem is that the university education system was designed for an employment-centered economy. That's my topic sentence. And all of the sentences should be connecting back to it, right? So again, let's read it again. The problem is that the university education was designed for an employment-centered economy. So all of the university degrees were trying to focus to bring us in the economy, which was employment-centered, right? Let's talk about number 2. Number 2 is the second paragraph. People would dedicate anything from 5 to 7 years to diligent study in order to get a guaranteed career at the end of it, right? So it's again talking about people studying for 5 to 7 years in universities to be able to get into that employment market. Number 6, there is no guarantee of that anymore. What is that? It's talking about the guaranteed career, right? There is no guarantee of that anymore. So it connects with that, right? You always have to think about your sentence. What does it connect back to what? A sentence before that should have a connection to your sentence that is ahead of it, right? Number 1. Next one is number 1. A more realistic scenario now is for workers to balance 2 separate income streams while studying on the side. The solution is for students. Number 4 is the next one. The solution is for university education to accommodate new working arrangements. And then 5, next one is 5. Study options need to be broken down into shorter boosters, qualifications taken on as needed basis with more part-time evening and distance options. And lastly, number 7 concludes everything, wraps everything up. This could be perhaps for the length of their working life rather than studying full-time for 6 years and then working full-time until retirement. So that's the sort of essay you want to write. That's the sort of paragraph you want to write to be able to get really high score in IELTS. I wish you all the best, and that's all I had for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.